Do, 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 do. Let's see. My microphone is on. Yes, it is on. Okay. Oh, I think we're live. What up, everybody? How's it going? YouTube live. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me double check real quick. Are we on? Are we on? Yes, we are on. Okay, so today is Friday, March 26th, and it's the second episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And I got a lot of thoughts about it. Just finished watching it, and heads up, this review is mainly for those of you, my fellow Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who have also watched today's episode. Excuse me. So if you haven't watched today's episode, heads up, there will be spoilers in this review. Okay, this is a spoiler full review. Um, Let me start with the first thing on my note. I am so happy that because in the first episode, Bucky and Sam were kind of separated. They were not, they didn't share the same screen time, if you will. But finally, in the second episode, it's like, yeah, we get to see the duo in action, the dynamic duo. And remember what I told you back when I was reviewing WandaVision, and I told you guys that I was hoping that this show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, will become kind of like a buddy comedy, buddy action comedy, kind of like 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, or Lethal Weapon, with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. That's what I was hoping for. I was like, yes, come on, let's make this happen. And that's exactly what we get. Excuse me. Obviously, it's not a new formula. It's pretty old fashioned. One can even argue that it's played out, but it's the formula that works really well for this type of show, especially for these two characters, and especially in that scene, the therapy scene nearing the end. That was just so funny. Oh my god! So I'm glad that they went with that approach. It met my expectation, and it's just like I couldn't be happier. Um, so that's number one, definitely the fact that it's like an buddy cop action comedy sort of feel to it. So yeah, I think that the whole thing with the alien android or wizards. I didn't even think of that. So I guess somebody actually, you know, thought of it as a pattern. Like if you watch enough Marvel movies, you would be able to point out the fact that yeah, they either fight either aliens or androids or um, wizards, such in the case as Doctor Strange or Wanda Maximoff herself. She's a witch. So that was like, oh, very good observation, definitely. Uh, the next thing on my list, let's go to the action sequence. Oh my god, that scene on those two trucks. I guess the word I'm looking for is exhilarating. I was like, because it feels like there's like a point of view camera from the perspective of Falcon that makes you feel as if you're flying with him. But then the editing was so well done as well. It's not that frantic. You can actually enjoy the fights. You can actually see them, and yeah. Oh my god! And you got the sequence was nicely staged too. It becomes very pulse pounding, especially when the Winter Soldier, or Bucky I should say, drops down and gets like in between the wheels. I was like, holy crap! And you see like Falcon just like swooping. I was like, whoa! Kudos, man! Kudos to that whole sequence. Was nicely done, nicely staged, and nicely shot. Um, Great work on the director's part as well. I believe her name is Carrie. Skolgan, I believe. She's fantastic. Oh my god, Marvel should definitely give her a movie project to do, because what she has been doing with the Falcon and Winter Soldier is just absolutely excellent, in my opinion. And but yeah, that action, that whole thing was amazing, amazing. It felt very cinematic as well. And that's what I mentioned to you last week. In that, it felt like we are back now in the Captain America franchise world. I mean, it's WandaVision is fine. The whole thing was, you know, um, unique, for lack of a better word. But it's kind of like it's a relief to come back to this world, something that's familiar. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier world. There's nothing cryptic about it. There's nothing coded. There's nothing puzzling. You know what I'm saying? When you watch WandaVision, as great as that show was, you come to even the first three episodes were just like pure comedy. It kept you thinking, like, it kept you wondering, oh my god, what does this mean? What does that mean? What does this indicate? What does this lead to? It's like, oh, it's like trying to unlock something. whereas whereas the Falcon and Winter Soldier is just like pure exhilarating action slash comedy fun. And it's like an open book, if you will. Of course, they have this whole mystery with the Flag Smashers, but it's not as mind-boggling of a mystery as WandaVision was. Um, so yeah, to me, it's refreshing to come back to this kind of world. What else do I have on my note? Oh, by the way, side note, I was like, I was trying to pin the name on the psychiatrist. I was like, I know that shrink. I've seen her before. Where have I seen her before? I remember now. I remember now. The actress name is, I believe, it's Amy Aquino, and she played the Girl Scout cookie lady on Everybody Loves Raymond. Ah, for those of you, my fellow Everybody Loves Raymond fans, there's a few episodes where this lady who plays the shrink shows up as pretty much Raymond's nemesis on that show. So I was like, oh, that's where I remember her. She's so great in this role as the shrink. Um, and obviously, from her method, if you will, that Bucky and Falcon have a lot to get off their chest. And you know what? Uh, Even though it didn't have the outcome that probably the shrink was expecting, it was a little bit progress, if you ask me. It's better than them not talking. So being put in that position, forcing them to at least get that part off their chest. Like, hey, why'd you give up the shield? It's like, hey, maybe that's what I thought was right. So at least they got to that point. They still need to go a little further, but at least, hey, better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. So we got to talk about John Walker. Okay, let me double check again my time here, because I've been awake all day long and I'm really falling asleep. I'm feeling drowsy right now, but before I go, I need to talk a bit about John Walker, and that would be like my last part, I think, about John Walker. No, Tyler is here. Let's see what he says here. Shout out to my hometown of Baltimore making an appearance in the MCU tonight. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And Tyler, shout out to Baltimore for making an appearance on the show The Wire. That's one of my favorite show ever. If you haven't seen The Wire, you got to check it out. Um, So John Walker, that's the thing too. Remember, I told you that this whole formula of buddy action cop comedy, and a part of that formula also is to have rival duo. When you see Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, or Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in 48 Hours, there's usually another rival duo, like somebody that just like, oh, we can do better than you guys at this job or whatnot. And by the end of today's episode, that's the impression I get from John Walker and his partner when he said to Bucky and Sam, "Hey, whatever you do, don't get in my way." I was like, "Oh, see, now they're really following that buddy cop comedy duo thing down to the T." Tyler says, people today still ask me about The Wire. Exactly, right? That's Baltimore for you, man. That's what Baltimore's most famous for, I think. The Wire. So yeah. But is John Walker necessarily the villain? No, at this point I don't think so. I think again it's like one of those action buddy cop comedy thing. The rival, maybe he has superior complex. Like we can do this better than you guys, kind of thing. He's a bit arrogant in my book. He's a bit cocky. But I don't doubt his genuine intent, to actually be a hero. And I'm a little impressed by what he can do. You've seen the training video on today's episode. I was like, whoa, the way he handles the shield, that's very Steve Rogers like. By the way, the actor's name is Wyatt Russell. He had this show on AMC for a couple of seasons called Lodge 49, but he got canceled because the ratings were low. So, but he's a fantastic actor. So I was like, oh man, when the show got canceled, I was like, oh, are we ever gonna see Wyatt again? Bam, this opportunity comes along, and the rest is history. So good on him. The next thing on my note, yeah, I know John Walker's supposed to be my last, but I think I need to at least squeeze in the super soldier stuff. So that's another revelation, right? Now we know the Flag Smashers are super soldiers, and then Bucky and Sam, or Bucky brought Sam to what appears to be the first black super soldier, and he's played by the guy who played Marcus Dixon on Alias series. Anybody fan of Alias? Come on, Jennifer Garner. So that's another drama that I can't wait to see how it plays out. Obviously, he's pissed off. Maybe he's one of those who never wanted to be anything super special, and then he's like feeling grudges about, he's holding grudges of all those years that he was probed, and he was experimented on. Um, so at this point, by the end of today's episode, uh, Bucky and Sam figured, you know what, we gotta go to Zemo for answers. And when Zemo was reported gonna be on the show, I thought, huh, didn't Zemo die in the Captain America and the Winter Soldier or Civil War? Apparently not. So that caught me by surprise. Like, huh, I guess he's in prison all this time. And the thing is, I hope, and I'm gonna end on this. Okay, I'm gonna end on this before I ramble on too long, and I'm already sleepy as it is. And when I get sleepy, I short circuit it in my brain, and I don't want to rant too long. But I'll end on this. It's the team up of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Obviously, they're kind of like rough and tumble right now. Nothing smooth sailing. They have resentment against each other because of the shield and whatnot. So as far as team up goes, it's not there yet. They're not in sync yet, to put it lightly. Um, But John Walker and his partner have resources on their side. So we have these, Sam and Bucky calling themselves freelancers, and they gotta go to see Zemo, and they gotta go. I don't know what's gonna happen next. They're probably gonna see Sharon Carter next. My point is like they're gonna go through all these routes just to get to Flag Smashers, you know, and Mr. Walker and his partner probably could do that, with just a click of a button, because they have the people, the manpower, and the resources on their side. I just hope that this whole freelancing thing, running around trying to figure each other out, doesn't end up with Falcon and Winter Soldier being at a disadvantage, being beaten to the punch by John Walker and his partner. So that's what I'm hoping, at least. But what's gonna happen in the subsequent episodes? I have no idea. By the way, there are only 6 episodes. There are only 6 episodes, you guys. WandaVision had what, 9? There's only 6 episodes. There's only 4 left. But luckily, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, each episode, it feels like a TV movie. It feels like a mini movie. 48 minutes long. I love that. And like I said, it's not puzzling. It's not mind-boggling. There's nothing cryptic about it. It's just pure action, exhilarating, buddy, action cop comedy sort of thing. So I can't wait. I can't wait. If you ask me though, should Sam have not given up the shield? If I were Sam, oh man, it's it's complicated though. I don't think it's that simple because the weight of that pressure of what that shield symbolizes. If you have to carry it, I don't know if I could. It's easy for me to say right now, like, man, Sam he should have kept it, man. But if somebody handed you such a big legacy like that, woo, that can be really scary. That can be really scary. It's like walking around, or maybe like it's like a what's the phrase? It's like a bull in a china shop. It's like you don't want to mess. You don't want to get any ceramic or glass broken, because then, the minute that legacy got scratched, you'll be taking the heat. And so I don't know if that's the reason why Sam didn't want it. He said, "I just did what I thought was right." I could use some elaboration on that. Maybe you could elaborate a little further. What do you mean you thought that was right to do? I respect that, but what do you mean by that? So maybe we'll get the answer to that as well in the subsequent episodes. But yeah, it's very complicated. I don't think it's that simple. For Bucky though, everything's black and white. Bucky is such a simpleton guy, man. God bless him. He's just like a man of action. It's like you either do it or you don't. You either take the shield or you don't. It's like, and you gotta take the shield, Sam. You gotta. Now look at this clown walking around with Captain Shield. So that's the way he thinks. Love it, love it, love it. Love this chemistry. Love this dynamic. I'm glad that this show is going with that formula. I can't wait to see the remaining 4 freaking episodes. That's it. I want to go to bed now. It's already 2 o'clock. Share your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, and watch my latest 2 reviews, okay? Let's rock this.